Hello, hello. Now, have you ever felt that you just can't find your Mr. or Miss right? And as the years pass, singles are told to hurry up and find a partner or fall in love. But what if that's not happening? So, welcome today to the Amazon Live Influencer Book Lovers Club. And it's my absolute delight to have feature an author, Karina Chapman, who has just launched her second book in the series called it's here, International Vixen, Defying Dating Rules. Now, over the past 8 years, Karina has been on a journey of research and discovery about dating, which inspired her to start writing what has grown into a series based on her experiences to share with others what she's learnt throughout this time. So the number one best-selling author on Amazon and author of the fictional book series called The Vixen's Secret Handbook. Karina's series is almost an anti-romance novel where the main character, Aurelia, I'm going to have to check that name, tries to learn lessons from her dating rather than look for love. So, book one in the series is Adventure Vixen, a modern dating tale, and book two is International Vixen, Defying Dating Rules, which has just been released recently. Karina's currently in the pre-production stage of writing the next book in her series. So, without further ado, let's welcome Karina to the program.
Thank you so much, Adair. Lovely to be here with you.
It is lovely. And before we get into having a chat about all things dating, I'd really like to let people know if you were here live, welcome. Please do remember to make sure as many people as possible get to see this live. And if you're here for the replay, welcome as well. We are live on mytimetv.live. We're live over at Amazon and on the Binge Network syndication program through sends us out to 50 channels of TV on demand, and we're also on LinkedIn. So if you would like to, I'm just going to pop this in here while we talk. We'll just be popping a link into the newsfeed so you can hop on there and pop over and grab the book. So, Karina, let's have a chat about how this series came about. It's quite exciting, really. So, start at the beginning.
Well, I guess it's inspired by things that have happened in my own life, which a lot of writers get inspiration from. And I've had several relationships over the years and not really been that successful, or else I'd still been in them. And after one particular one of a 6-year relationship broke up about maybe 8 years ago, I just thought, that's it. Obviously, I am doing something wrong. I'm not picking the right people. I am always disappointed, and then I'm having heartbreak. And after you've had your heart broken a few times, you kind of get sick of it. So we need to learn then, what are we doing wrong? How can we change that? And how can we move forward? And the thing is, when you've just had your heart broken, you're not ready to risk it again. But you need to learn lessons. And I certainly did need to learn a lot of lessons. So what I did was I decided that I was going to date men that particularly had a deal-breaking flaw, to make sure I couldn't fall in love with them and I would protect my heart. But I had to like them as a person, of course, but there had to be something that I thought, there's no way we can have a long-term relationship. And that would stop me from falling for them, so I could concentrate on learning what it was that I needed. What type of person did I want? And all that sort of thing. So I'm going through this process, and I've decided to date several guys at once. And I started having these really interesting and unusual things happen. So my friends at work, every day, they'd be like, have you gone on any more dates? What's been happening? What's the latest story? And so I would tell them, and after a while, they were like, "You need to write a book. This is a bit crazy. The amount of dates and the amount of things that have happened.
Yeah.
People would love to hear this." So I thought, oh, maybe I could. I've always loved writing. I'd already written a book about hairdressing, which was my past career, and I thought, well, I absolutely could. Why not? So that's how it actually started.
It's amazing. So you were the guinea pig for the experiences for the book. And what now? The character's name. Her name is it
Alia.
Alia.
Alia. Yes.
Beautiful name. Where were you inspired to get that name?
Well, that's a bit of a strange story as well, because I like unusual stories. I was doing a meditation and trying to put the question out to the universe, what should I call my main character? And one of my guides wanted me to rearrange her name into a new name for the book. So, so I changed that around and came up with that, and that's how it happened. So it was a little bit odd. I wanted to pick something that wasn't a usual name, but I didn't actually expect to get a bit of guidance from my guides on what I should be naming my character. So
it's amazing what they tell us when we listen.
That's right. Exactly.
So the Vixen's series, the overarching title is the handbooks.
Yeah, so it's the Vixen Secret Handbook series.
Yeah.
And what the actual Vixen Secret Handbook is something that we all wish that we had, is a guidance book that's going to tell us whether the dates are going to be good or bad so we don't waste our time. So unfortunately that does not exist. However, in my books it does. And how that comes about is that Alia is at a psychic fair one day with friends, and a mysterious stranger comes up to her and insists that this book that she's carrying, this tatty old leather book, is Alia's, belongs to Alia. And Alia was like, well, I don't even know who you are. This is ridiculous. But this woman tells her that this is a magical book. It helps you to date. I've been told that you are the owner. And then when she took it in her hands, it glowed. So that was confirmation. And then this woman disappeared. And at the time, Alia was actually in a relationship, so she shoved it up into the back of the cupboard and forgot until she broke up with her partner and decided she needed a new life. So she uses the book as guidance to try and help her navigate things. But the book is a little bit mysterious, so it doesn't always tell her everything. It glows different colours, and suddenly a new colour will come and she doesn't know what it means.
Oh,
so she's got to find out, what does this mean? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Is this a disaster date? Should I not go? So that's part of her quest as well, of finding out, what it means and looking at a bit of guidance, which she doesn't always remember to listen to.
Oh. Does that sound like real life or what?
Sadly, yes. We don't all listen to our guidance, do we?
So when you wrote the first one, or you've got the concept for it, did you have in your mind that there would be a series and how many they would be, and were they all energetically pre-written, or have they just been coming out evolving?
It's funny. Work? At first, I just intended to write one book, but as I started writing it, I realised that all of the dating experiences that I'd had, because I had a lot by then, were not going to fit. They wouldn't fit into one book. So I thought, I better write another one or two. And so as time evolved, I realised that actually, first I thought maybe it's 5, but now I know it's 6. So there'll be 6 in the series. Wow. Yeah. So we've got. So I'm working on the 3rd at the moment, which is Mistress Vixen. So so we're working on that. But basically, in the first book, in Adventure Vixen, which I do have a copy of here, which I'll just show everyone there. So that's Adventure Vixen. So she's heading off on a magical dating journey of discovery. and she decides she's dating several men. So this is about her remembering that she's got the book, deciding to use that for guidance, and kind of going against society's rules of we should only be dating one person at a time and we should be dating for love, full stop. And so she's really looking at, is that true? Does it need to be that way? Is there something else? Like, I'm not ready for love, but I want companionship. I want intimacy. I want, different fun things in my life and adventures. So why not change the rules? Why not make up your own rules? And then so that sort of takes her on this journey of gathering, I suppose, a little group of men that she sees, that she actually calls her marks, because she's aiming for a target and that's the mark of what to hit. So specific guys that she's attracted to, that perhaps, want to have 5 kids, and she certainly doesn't. And my character is also a little bit different in that she is in her early 40s when she's setting out on this journey, because we don't become disillusioned until we have a couple of relationships that don't work for us.
Yes.
And it's only then that we start going, maybe what society is telling us is not true.
Yes.
Maybe there's something else out there.
Yeah. So finding Mr. Right and having 2.2 children and, riding off, I was going to say sailing off into the sunset. But
that's right. I mean, we're really expected to find the person, work towards getting a house, get engaged, get married, have the kids, make sure the house is around the corner from a school. But, there's this sort of list of things that we have expectations put on us that we don't even realise are there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of about breaking free of that, doing something different and examining all different types of beliefs with an open mind. And that's what I really wanted my character to do. I mean, in the first book, in Adventures Vixen, she comes across a gentleman that is looking for a pretend girlfriend for an event, for a whole weekend. So she was like, oh, I've never come across someone like that. What would that be like? What would that be about? So she asked lots of questions to try and find out, instead of immediately just going, no, that doesn't sound right, that's not for me. So it's about being open-minded. So he ends up saying that he wants to pay her to be his girlfriend for the weekend, and she would have to actually fly interstate.
Well,
so this brings up another dilemma
going through my head.
That's right. Are you sharing a room? Is there something sexually involved? What is the expectation here? What would actually happen if you said yes to this? So I really wanted to expand different things. Another one, she comes up against someone that's in an open relationship. So what's that about? Who decided? Do both people know that they're in the open relationship, or only one?
Really cool point.
Do you have rules? Where did they come from? Do you look up on the internet for this?
So many questions, and you have the answers in your book.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to, include lots of things that actually do happen in real life. And to be honest, I did come across someone in real life that asked me to be a pretend girlfriend. And in fact, when I did clarify what that meant, it was non-sexual. However, he did offer the other option of if I wanted to be a full girlfriend for the weekend, and the price tripled for that.
Okay.
But then, of course, you're in a moral dilemma. Would I or would I not do something like that? So, so you have to have a little read of the book to find out what she does there. But she's just put herself out for any sort of opportunity of adventure and learning, and gets a lot more than she bargained for at the end. So
it sounds like an exciting life.
Exactly. A lot of the times we don't have any adventure or excitement in our life. And I think if you've been in a long-term relationship that's really gone stale and fizzled at the end, you are feeling quite low, like your life hasn't got any excitement, adventure, interest, fun. You're feeling a bit funless. So, this is a good guide, and it actually has real guidance in there for people as well when they are dating, because as women especially, we need to keep ourselves safe.
Yes.
And so, we don't want to be giving out addresses to strangers. We don't want to be getting them to pick us up to take us to the first date when we've never met them. So things like that you think would be common sense, that actually are not quite as common as you think.
Yeah.
So, I like to add the extra element of, yes, okay, we have got a magical Vixen's book in there, handbook that glows and does magical things, but there's also a lot of truth embedded in my novels, because I do base that on, what's happened in life.
Yeah.
For myself and others that have had different dating experiences as well, because I think, we've got so many books out there, characters meet, they fall in love, they have a fallout, then it gets resolved, they're back together, they marry, and they're happily ever after.
Well, isn't that the Mills and Boons romance formula?
Yes.
It's not that I'm never going to admit to having read. Okay, well, I used to love them. And then I grew up.
Well, I think a lot of women did. That was all that was out there for romance, and that was what set the foundation for us. That's completely unrealistic.
Yeah.
I can count on one hand and have fingers left over how many of my friends have experienced that. We all have a lot of different experiences. So, we need to expand this narrow view of what romance is and what love and dating is into something wider, so we can learn a bit more about ourselves and about, the qualities of the people that we want to be with, so we can choose better the next time. That's the goal anyway.
So with Alia, I love that name. Did she use a variety of different resources or sources to find her marks?
No, her first thing was going online. After being in a relationship, it's a little bit daunting to maybe go out to a pub or somewhere by yourself to meet new people. And also, once you're sort of getting past, late 30s, early 40s, you have a bit of a feel that perhaps you're not going to find people in your age group out in the pubs and the clubs like you were in your 20s, perhaps. So now it's like, where do you find them? If you don't want to join a physical dating experience or speed dating event or things like that, the easiest is at home. You can be in your tracksuit pants. You don't have to be looking good, and you can be connecting with new people. And there's a lot more people there that you've got the choice of as well online. So she went on to what she calls the supermarket of lust.
Ooh, is that
to find her mark?
What's the equivalent in our world?
The equivalent. So it would be Tinder, it would be Match.com. There's quite a few different ones, any of the dating apps that are out there nowadays, really. You've got so many. Most people, I think, if they're starting to go into dating, they would tend to go for the free apps. But if you're to the point where you're really seriously looking for love, then perhaps you're on eHarmony. So she was definitely not on eHarmony because she was not looking for love. So it was more Tinder, Hinge. It's just so many out there. So that's the type of area that she looked, because when you're just looking for playing around, you want to find people that have got the same idea.
Yeah.
And again, it's also about learning that you need to make sure that you're open and honest to everyone. So often, if people are dating several people at once, they're not open and honest about it. However, she's done it the opposite. She is open and honest to everyone right from the start. If they're okay with her dating other men, then great. If they're not, then that's also fine as well. But it is really about having the guts to be open and honest and upfront about what's going on. You're casually seeing several people at a time. Is that okay or not? And you don't want to go for someone that states on their profile looking for a long-term love, because that's not fair. Your goals aren't matching. So she learns a lot about that when she's looking online.
And I guess she's documented all of that in her adventures as well. So
exactly.
And creating profiles too. So I'm sure that there's some clues in there about what to do and
Exactly. And, and she looks at other profiles to get ideas, what do you put in there? What type of thing? How do I want to come across in my profile? And actually I teach short courses on getting a really good about me on your profile, because you need to have something that's going to engage and be interesting, or give them some sort of conversation starter, so that they don't just say, hey there. What do you say to that? It's so boring. Whereas if you can say, I see you love traveling to Bali quite often. Where's your favourite place to stay? It's a conversation starter. So I help people with that too, because a lot of people really want to connect, but they don't sell themselves well enough, and they don't give others opportunities to be able to create a conversation and get started. So yeah, she did definitely learn a lot online with what some said and what they didn't say. And she had a couple of awful experiences too, where people wanted to maybe just meet her in a car park rather than even going for a drink. So there's different levels of what's out there. So it's really navigating rocky waters through the dating world online.
Wow. Well, just remind people, if you're here, if you're on Facebook, do pop over to Amazon, hit the follow button, would be great. And also you will see 2 books in the carousel, and they are, my iPad's over there, so the titles of the 2 books that you will see are, there we go, and the images as well. Go and if you know of anybody who could use this information, please let them know. Make sure.
That's it. So, after so much experience, I certainly, I feel that a lot of women need that information and need that permission that it's okay to date differently.
Yes.
And it's okay to give yourself a break, to have your heart to mend, and to learn who it is that you need. So in the second book, International Vixen, what she actually is looking there for is she's realised that she's dating a couple of guys from different nationalities.
Oh, okay.
So she's thought, maybe there's a specific nationality that I prefer to date, or that's better to date for some particular reason. So International Vixen, she's actually on holiday in Bali, and decides that she's going to have a go because, of course, you're in international waters and there's all these men from different countries there on holidays. So she's going to go out and meet a few guys there. So she meets a couple of French guys and a couple of others, and she vetoes out a couple of different ones. But basically, her idea of, if there's a particular race that she likes better, then maybe she should just date that race, doesn't quite work out like she expected. So, so yeah, she had a lot of discovery in around that, and whether should she be looking at race or should she be looking at individual person and personalities, and traits, so and does culture matter, or religion?
When she was in Bali, they're very important questions, of course. And but when she was in Bali, did she use a dating app, or was it?
Well, so when she went on holiday, she forgot to take her Vixen Secret Handbook with her. So, but she thought by then, well, look, I'm pretty good at this now. I've been doing it for a while. I should be fine. No problem at all. So she didn't have that to help her, but she did use the dating apps, because you can just go onto dating apps wherever you are, update your location, and find where people are close to you and have a chat. Of course, there's free Wi-Fi everywhere, so it's not hard to connect.
Yes, yeah. So and it sounds like she had some real adventures in Bali.
That's right. She certainly did. Yes. And she also realised some new things that she hadn't particularly realised. So, for example, a French guy that she met, who was a very lovely guy, but really the English level of understanding was not very good. So after an hour of speaking with him, although he was lovely, she was exhausted, because it takes a lot to really listen and then to have to explain every word, or try to find a word or look it up on a dictionary or something to explain what you're talking about. It really sort of hinders the conversation flow. So the thing that she learned from that date was that she really needs to have someone that can communicate in her own language well, because she is a communicator.
Yeah.
So little things like that from each date that she goes on help build her idea of what her ideal man actually is and what the traits are. And that's the whole point of her journey. And in fact, in the first book, in Adventure Vixen, she goes on a date with one particular guy who is very much into fetishes. And she's never come across that before, not in any of her relationships or anything else like that. So although she's sort of interested, she's a bit scared because this is at the beginning of the journey. What is this? Is she going to be in someone's dungeon locked up? Or like, what happens here?
What?
You don't know. So she thought, that's a bit too much, and kind of left that. However, as she becomes braver and, has more experiences, she realizes that maybe she needs to be more open-minded around that. Maybe she needs to learn what that is about. What do people do in this fetish world?
Here we are.
Would it be exciting or not? How do you know unless you find out, unless you're open to it?
And so said she's not sure which one she's purchased. I think the one that said book 1. So hold them up again, Karina. And let's see
sure. So this is book 1. So Adventure Vixen is book 1.
And I'll just pop you on. There we are. There we go. Maybe move it back a little bit from the camera so we can see. There we go.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is our book 1.
And it's Adventure Vixen, a modern dating tale. Yes, it's that one, she said.
That's the one.
Just featured that. Now pop up the other book. I just went.
Yep. So book number 2, which we've just released, is this one, which is International Vixen.
Beautiful. Yes, that one, she said. Okay. I love the colours. Who did the design?
Oh, look, I've got a wonderful cover designer who is actually in Serbia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so because it's often difficult for authors to know like what to do with covers, and you want them to be professional. Mm-hmm. I did a competition on 99 designs, and I had so many come from around the world that entered the competition, and she's amazing. So yeah, I was so super happy with it.
There you go. And Roz has issued a standard disclaimer here. Not that she needs to go dating, but anticipating.
Absolutely no.
Great read. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And then she's going, why has she got that? I'm not quite sure. Roz has popped a link in there, but if you want to buy the book, please get it from this link, Roz. I'm sure you're being helpful. Both the books are featured in the carousel on the Amazon Live on this channel right now. So pop over there and purchase your copies. If you don't, and I'm sure there'll be at some point there might be a bundle special coming when you've released them all. Do you have?
Absolutely, there sure will be.
Okay. Oh, okay. So someone is in one of the groups where we're live streaming into Facebook and is saying, "Looks awesome. Where can I get it from?" So Roz was being helpful. Thank you, Roz. You're amazing. But whoever has asked that question, you can pop into the amazon.com/shop/mytimetv.live and you can purchase them from the links there. It would be great. So the
and both of them also are available in ebook as well as paperback.
It's Jackie. Hello, honey. Hey. She's over in the group as well.
Oh, fantastic.
The love tutor. You two should get your heads together. Oh, my God.
Was that Jackie Opie?
Yes, Jackie Opie.
Oh, I've had a chat with Jackie before.
I bet you have.
She's lovely.
I know. Great to see you here, honey. And if you feel like popping over and giving my channel a follow, that would be very much appreciated. And now Roz is jumping. She's show hopping.
Love it.
Look at this. She says she's on Amazon right now to buy it. I love this live sales.
Fabulous.
It's taken a few goes to get myself and Karina here, but it's working. So,
That's it, exactly.
all right. So she wants the link for the channel. Can you pop over? You won't see it in the group, unfortunately, but you will see it if you come over to mytimetv.live. There we go. You may, that's one of the issues with the program, but that's okay. It's Facebook's rules that we're playing by, and we're grateful that Facebook is allowing us to pick up people from here and send them over there. All right, so I have a couple of questions. I did want to share
Sure.
my just that one. Okay, if you have any problems, Jackie, let me know, and I will definitely send you the link when we're finished. But I wanted to share a story that I had about my own experiences, if you don't mind indulging me, because
Love it.
it'd be good to have the I guess a bit of a filter to say, this is, because I mean I would do my as a serial relationship with the background belief that you got married, you had the kids, you just live happily ever after. Well, that was the first one lasted about 7 years, which is, I think, is the average time, isn't it? And the second one was 14 months, and the third one was 20 years. So I sort of did, yeah. And between there, I did a bit of dating, and I had one long-term relationship between them, and I'm showing my age, I think. But anyway, last time, my 20-year marriage dissolved, which is, it was a good thing. It was good for everybody involved, and it was a lovely breakup. What do they call it? A conscious uncoupling. That's Vixen from Mind Valley says, you don't have to have all the when you break up. It can be a conscious uncoupling. So that was a really good experience. But then my granddaughter, and I was couch surfing for a little while, finding myself in these interesting circumstances where I was actually homeless. So I was up at my daughter's at Mount Barker, and my granddaughter, who was 17 at the time, maybe even a bit younger, she says, well, I'll get you a profile on Tinder. Well, the thing is, I didn't even know what Tinder was. And
that's it.
I'd seen some ads for eHarmony, but she's choosing Tinder for a reason. And I'm saying, oh, no, I'm not, like, don't, just no. And then she goes, come on, Gma, you got to do this. And I'm going, I'm seriously, no. And so anyway, I just said, well, if you're going to, because they wore me down, my daughter and my granddaughter, they wore me down. And I said, well, if you're going to do it, put the craziest, silliest, most, don't do the ones where it's all perfect. Just do ones that are me,
Yes.
Me living my life. And so they and I did screen the photos, and the photos that I put up, I let them put up, were they were like, there was I'm holding a wine glass full of a green smoothie, and and it's like, and there's ones there of me playing with my grandkids, and it's just with their permission, with the parents' permission. That's like saying, this is like to show aspects of me that when I'm not a model, don't live this like life, because I think we do have maybe a perception of the people that they put these profiles up that aren't
true,
real. And then she put together some stuff, and I just said, just crazy fun, love, whatever. And I can't even remember really what she put there, but I didn't. The next day, well, then her and my daughter went through swiping left and right. I didn't even get a look at it. So they spent about an hour and a half going bing, 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 bing. And I'm going, okay, whatever. And then I wake up next morning and there was all these messages, and I just went, well, I shut the app down. Now I'm going to have to make an admission here, which I'm doing publicly, and I'm really not sure whether I should. However, So about 6 or 8 months later, I'm with my other daughter on Kuchimado Island, and I thought, oh, I wonder if that app, you know, like, I'm old, I'm not dead. Yeah. And so I opened the app and I looked at about 3 and I went, I can't even. And like there was one that said, what's your phone number? Responded sort of straight away. And I gave him my phone number. No idea why. But was that something that, you know, probably maybe should have kept it in the app. But anyway, so I gave him the phone number and then I shut the app down. I didn't look at it again because I just had that feeling, you know.
Yeah.
And he was messaging me on my phone, and then he rang me, and then a couple of weeks later we actually went on a date, and we've just celebrated our 2-year anniversary in September. We're all going. I totally know. This thing is just like, my God. I'm sure there's lots of stories like that, but
oh yeah,
it just blew my mind. So. And now I've got, hey, Jenny's here, Jezza. Great to see you, Jezza. Yeah. And that's good. Oh, yeah. Roz is saying the online dating scene was interesting and she had success as well. So,
yeah, it can be quite challenging and quite scary when you haven't done it before, for sure.
Yes.
So it does take a bit of courage, and so I now teach Finding Mr. Right programs and build courage and help people with that, because it's so scary to go on and then to think, oh my God, I'm going to meet someone that I've never met, and how do I do that? Yes. So like you, I think a lot just go, let's shut it down, let's not do it, that just sounds too hard.
Yes.
So and in fact, one of my clients thought the other day, one of her limiting beliefs was that she would never find a man online.
Yeah.
I said, why would you limit yourself that way? You want the right man to come to you whichever way is best.
Yeah, yeah.
Whether you bump into him at the grocery store or whether it is online.
Yeah.
So just, be open, because you just never know where a relationship may come from. And you wouldn't have thought that just by giving your number and then closing down the app, you would end up in a great relationship.
I know that blows my mind. But it was when you were talking earlier about going on having those experiences to find out what you don't want. I think that's the best advice ever.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, seriously, it took me 3 marriages to.
It takes us all a few goes. Sadly,
Roz is saying she had a hell of a shock when she got a phone call. It's like a voice. Same happened here. Ended up with the one she talked with. I mean, that's it. But I would imagine that that's probably not the norm.
Well, actually, it's surprising. All sorts of things can happen, from finding the love of your life to finding, 3 Mr. Wrongs that you're going to enjoy dating. Yeah. I mean, we shouldn't limit ourselves in any way of, where the relationship's coming from. But what we want to do first is learn exactly what it is that we want in a person, so that we're clear. And then when we come across someone that doesn't have those qualities, we know that they're the ones that we need to swipe left on, as such, if we're talking Tinder talk, and say no to.
Yeah.
Because there's so many out there, and, our values, especially our core values, need to match. Otherwise, we can't have a long-term relationship, whether it's a dating relationship or a friendship. So, even if you're dating 3 at once, you still want them all to be open and honest and respectful and kind. There's a lot of things there that we want out of anyone that we have in our life for whatever time. So once we get clear on that, it's so much easier than when we do see someone that's got those qualities that we want. We have that immediate attraction, and we know that this is a connection that we want to keep.
I muted myself, so I was over on Amazon.
I think, I can't hear it.
Yeah, the lips are going, but nothing's coming out. So I was going to say I was over on Amazon, but I just mentioned what Roz is over there. She said she's just bought the other book. So
fantastic! Thanks, Roz. You'll have to let me know what you think.
And she said she was, in her words, she's scared. So it takes courage. It really does take courage.
It does. It really, truly does. And you know what else I find too? When when we're looking at someone, if we see someone that we're really attracted to, we're too scared to go up and even say hello.
Yeah.
In our mind, we put all this stuff on ourselves. What if he doesn't like me? What if I get rejected in front of his friends? What if this, what if that? So then it stops us from even going and saying hello to that person. Because we put so much pressure on ourselves.
Yeah.
So, and then we regret that we've missed an opportunity for connection. So
Absolutely. So it's about, I think the expectations are you're going from, like you were saying before, Karina, you're going from a standing start to even if it's not marriage and babies, but retirement with a person. And that's like, what? You just peg it back.
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
I love that advice. I really do. And one of the things I said tonight, we'd been dating maybe 3 or 4, 5 weeks, and I just said, where do you see this going? And he goes, what do you see? And he goes, well, just have fun and see where the journey takes us. And I went, right answer.
That absolutely.
Yeah. So
no high expectations.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So Ros is saying she used a platform that likely isn't existing anymore. No swipe left. It was reading every profile to check them out. That sounds like even the classified ads in the 90s. I was between the second and the third husband. And the classifieds you get, and it's like,
Well, we've come a long way from the classifieds in the paper, haven't we?
Yeah, we definitely have. We have. And
the other thing too, which I like about dating apps now, since COVID, they've actually increased the services. So beforehand, most of them you could not video chat at all.
Okay, yeah.
Whereas now, a lot of them have enabled a video chat option, which is really good for a few reasons. The first is because you can actually see, is this the person in the pictures? Are they the same person?
Yes.
The second is, can you have a bit of a connection, and you're not wasting time getting all dressed up and looking gorgeous to get somewhere where 5 minutes in the date you're like, nah, I wish I didn't come. How am I going to get out of it?
Yeah.
So there's also some dating exit strategies as well in the books.
I love that idea. Someone's saying it's the Mel Robbins 5-second rule. That might be Jackie. Jenny just went for it. You go, girl. And Roz is laughing about something. I'm not quite sure. But she's saying, hang on, there we go. The first physical meetup was the biggest step. And I'm sure Alia has some ideas around how to prepare for your first physical meetup.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is about really reducing those expectations and not putting the pressure on yourself. Yeah. Because when we do that, we can't be ourselves. We act like someone else and you think, what's wrong with me? Why am I just being me? But it's, we put so much pressure on and then we miss a connection again because we can't be authentic.
So when's the Vixen dating app coming out?
Well, that's a good question. I do Finding Mr. Right one-on-ones and in groups and, how to write profiles and, which pictures you should use and all that sort of stuff. But I haven't thought about a dating app. Maybe that's something for the future.
Well,
but definitely I'll be going for retreats. So once we can all travel again,
yes,
I'll be setting up Vixen retreats for women. And I've thought of some great fun things we can do as well. Things like doing a smell test, because one of the really important things is, are we attracted to their smell? Yes. So I would love to have the ladies blindfolded and have some different guys and get them to smell them all and then see which ones they're attracted to.
I want to be there just for
fun. And this is so important because I have to tell you, I was on this date once with this guy. We met and we were just outside the pub and he goes, well, actually, I've got something in the car for you. Do you mind if we just pop back to my car? And I thought, ooh, this is a bit suspicious, but no, I think we're okay. So I go back and he had some flowers. He said, do you mind if we just sit in the car for a moment and chat before we go in? And I thought, safety, no, I think I'm still okay here. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
So I sat in the car. Well, how can I explain how intensified his personal natural smell was in the car with all the windows closed?
Ooh.
And, of course, they're electric windows. You can't even open the window.
Oh.
So I was almost overpowered by this very repelling smell of this guy, and I felt awful. So all I could do was put my face into the flowers and smell the flowers until I could get out the car. And he was a lovely date. He really was. But in the end, I had to say to him, I'm so sorry, but the pheromones, it's the science thing, it's the pheromones. I'm not attracted because of that. You are a lovely guy. But I think he didn't really believe me. He thought maybe it was something else. But honestly, that was the truth. It was the smell. So it's so important.
How they take it. Yeah. Ross is gonna. Oh my God, that's so gold.
I can't tell you how bad that smell was and how grateful I was for the flowers. But yeah.
Pheromones on a chair is a great fun thing to do. I think there was we know what you mean, Jenny. So Ross says she was attracted to the sound of the voice for her partner, and the smell came later.
Well, that also makes a difference, doesn't it? If you speak to someone first on the phone and they've got this high squeaky voice or something that doesn't sound quite right, you're like, I'm not sure if I want to meet you. So
like a progression of
exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just, it's such an interesting topic, and the fact that, like if you're anything over 20, like you said, your Vixens are over 40.
That's right. And sadly, I'm over 50 now, so.
Well, and that's
but honestly, it is the older women that this is for.
Yeah. Well,
when we're younger, we're still thinking we're going to find Prince Charming and get married and have babies and do all the things that, society tells us to.
Yeah.
Until we're disillusioned.
And then we go, well, we've done all that. What's next?
Let's have some fun instead and a bit of adventure.
Yeah. So I just think it's amazing what you're doing. And I love the way that you've written the books as novels. I think that's great. And I think it's like, the cautionary tale. So, because traditionally we're told, write up your wish list.
Yep.
But, it's like, what sort of things would make you go, bleh? So that's the stuff, because when you see someone and you think, oh my God, they're amazing, and you haven't got your unwish list,
yeah,
what do you call it?
Yeah, if you're not clear on who your Mr. Right is and the qualities, how can you recognise him?
But I think also that if you have those qualities that you are, like, you might have someone that would have 7 out of 10 of the qualities, but the 3 that he doesn't possess, or that he possesses, that, aside for my sister, it was they absolutely cannot smoke. So they might have been like perfect in every other area.
Yeah.
And someone without the fortitude, myself included, would have gone, okay, so that's a habit that I don't like. And I did this actually when I was dating a drinker. And I just went, I actually told him after our second date, I think you're a lame duck. And then I had a 4-year relationship with him. Like, hello. So like, if you've got that confidence, and I think hooking into your courses. So if you want to just share a little bit more about the courses and the support you can can provide for women that don't do the stuff that I did. And,
absolutely. And that's why I've made them up and created them, to help us, because we really do need some help in that area. When we've had a couple of relationships that haven't worked, you realise you're doing something wrong, but it's like, well, so what do I need to do? So my Finding Mr. Right program is a 6-session program. And what we start off with is working out, what patterns have you been repeating? Because quite often we have the same things happening. We're either trying to fix someone, or, someone's a doormat, or someone's treated as a doormat. There's something that always kind of happens. So it's like, where does this come from? And then how do we break it? Yeah. So I even have a special meditation on breaking the patterns from the past. And once we're aware of that, then we can see it clearly and we can let it go to move forward to the new. And so it's about really becoming conscious first, then being clear on, what it is that we need to change, and what limiting beliefs that we've got that we don't even know we've got.
Yes.
And once we can do that and change them to positive beliefs, then we're ready to start really creating, you know, a clear vision of who it is that we would want in our life. So it includes making up a really comprehensive list of Mr. Rights. Even, for example, a lot of people might put on their list single, because that's obvious, isn't it? Of course we want them single, but that's still not encompassing enough information. What we really want is we want them to be emotionally, physically, and spiritually available for us.
Yes.
You know, other people they're looking at physical stuff. I want them to be this tall. I want this color hair. I want that. No, we don't focus on that because that's not the lasting thing. The lasting thing is the inside.
Yeah.
And what we want to say about the outside, for example, would be attractive to me.
Yes.
And we're not limiting and we're not, you know, narrowing. So once you've got clarity on what your core values are first, because a lot of us don't even know what's really important to us. And then once we've got that, it starts building foundation and we create a vision of the future. And even, you know, one of the big things that we work on is how we want to feel in a relationship. What are those emotions you want to feel every day?
Yes.
You know, do you want to feel loved and supported? Do you want to feel dainty? One of my clients, she wanted to feel like a goddess.
Yeah.
You know, so there's different things of all the different elements that we're putting together of the qualities that they have to have, how we want to feel in a relationship, and then all of that put together is great, but then we have to have confidence to move forward. So that's what we work on as well. Once we've gotten the really strong consciousness, the clarity on what we need to change, the creating of the vision that's new, then it's really working on the confidence and being able to step out of that comfort zone and take the risk, say hello to someone new, do something out of your comfort zone that could create a whole new opportunity for connection. And you know, just the people that are doing that, I just see them grow and I get so excited. And in fact, just recently, I attended the engagement party of my first client to get engaged after attracting her amazing partner.
That is fantastic. Really well done. That's so cool. I actually
and you know, they almost make you sick because they are so in love and it is so gorgeous. And you know, when you're a single person, you see that, you go, I want that. That's what I want. I want that connection.
And that's there for us if we know what to look for.
It is.
What not to look for,
because if we're not clear, how can we attract the right one? How are we even going to notice? If we don't know who that person is, we're going to choose the wrong one again from the past, and we get sick of that. So it's really clearing out everything from the past as well to allow the new to come into us.
So how do you do these courses, Karina? Are they run like are they self-select, or you know, you've got your one?
So I have they're very interactive with me, especially the Finding Mr. Right programs. So often I'm doing it at the moment one-on-one. I have done it in groups as well, so I'll have that starting again next year. Will be different times where I'll be doing it in groups. But often people like to go through this process one-on-one because then we can be really specific. We can hone on into exactly what has been happening for them and how to change that and what to do from there. So I feel like when I'm doing the one-on-ones, it really gives a lot more benefit. Of course, in a group, you know, you do get to meet other women, which is great, and connect. But if you're wanting to really move forward and truly find love and you're serious about it, then the one-on-ones with me is the best to get you there faster. I mean, it was only 13 months ago that this particular client that's got engaged did my course. So in that short amount of time, she's connected with this guy and they've gotten engaged. So it's not impossible. It certainly can happen. And it's just, you know, once you've got those tools and you've got the right thing in your head that you're trying to attract, because even in our brain, there's a reticulating activation system in our brains as a part of that. So when we start focusing on one particular thing, that little part of our brain goes, oh, I'm going to look for that for you. Oh, is it there? Is it there? So it helps us, and it draws our attraction more to maybe the person that might be the one, or maybe it's his friend, or, going to something that, we can meet people. So, it's like if you buy a new car and you've never even seen the car before, and suddenly,
Spotto,
they're everywhere.
And I actually took, I know it's an aside, but I actually took yellow cars off the road because I said, no, I'm putting purple cars on the road, and I removed yellow cars.
Yeah,
which was really cool. So I understand that, and if you're not a hypnotherapist, you might want to explain how you did it. So
that's right, exactly, because what we think about, we bring about. So if we're thinking about what happened in the past, what we don't want, what we didn't like, guess what, that's what we're attracting. And we want to cut that. We don't want to be attracting that anymore. So, we start changing our mindset, and you'll be amazed at how fast love can be attracted into your life. We don't want to go out and hunt for it. We don't want to go out and be the hunter. We want to attract it, and that's what my program's about. And actually, I've got a group on Facebook as well called Vixens of Light.
Okay.
So, anyone's welcome to join in that as well. And I just have lots of positive things about relationships and boundaries and, extra strategies, different things like that, so that, even if you are already in a relationship, you can still benefit from that, because, we forget sometimes how important it is to keep working on ourselves and maintain relationships once we do connect.
Yes, it is. And I just got someone else from the Facebook group has said, hi, lovely Karina. So obviously someone who knows you.
Thanks.
Roz has, just going back over some of the comments. She said that something about time. Jenny's corrected pheromones, not pheromones. It must have been a typo for her. She said time's running out. It was that sense that when I started looking again after 6 years by herself post divorce. And do you think that when you go, time's running out, is that something that, we just go, it's divine timing, or we just...
You know what? Time's running out is a limiting belief.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And I think just enjoy.
Because time is an illusion. The amount of years doesn't mean anything. It's our vitality. It's our, like other people will die at 60 or 80 or 100. Time's not running out.
Yeah.
It's, like our connection with someone could happen today, tomorrow, in 10 years or wherever. But once we connect with ourselves and we've got that love in ourselves, then time's irrelevant. Whenever the right time is when it will be.
And Roz is also saying she wrote a list of what she wanted and burnt them in a mini ceremony. She needed to have been a bit more detailed in that list.
It's true though, because we think, it's greedy to ask for too much. That's what we think, Oh, well, I should only have this much, really, because if I have this much, then they probably don't exist, so I won't do it. Again, another limiting belief. But the thing is, like, if you say to the universe, I want a new car.
Yes.
Well, what sort? What size? How many doors? What colour? There's so many extra things. Otherwise, we're not going to be happy with what we get.
So
that's why being specific works.
The absolute law of attraction. It just, it really is. That whether you, and
if all we say is, I want a 6'2" brown-haired guy with a moustache who is a police officer, that's pretty limiting, and that's not all the things that make the difference of what a long-term relationship will be.
Yeah. I really like the idea that you touch on about how they make you feel.
Yes.
I've never, ever heard that, ever.
We work on that. We actually create a feelings board.
Yeah.
So lots of people into vision boards? No.
Yeah.
We're into feelings board, and we want visual pictures that make us feel something.
Just read Roz's comment. Pays to be fully sober when you create your list.
That would help, yes.
All right, Roz, you heard that one.
Love it.
Sorry, go on. Your feelings board.
So, once people are clear on how they want to feel in a relationship.
Yeah.
So, for example, a lot of my clients that have had, say, if they've experienced domestic violence situations, then they want to feel safe and secure. And that's really important.
Yes.
So they will find an image that makes them have that feeling of safe and secure. Or, you know, one of my clients, she's nearly 6 foot, and she said that how she'd like to feel in a relationship is dainty.
She wants to
So there's so many different things, and I think, you know, it's not just about being loved. It is about, you know, support, laughter, friendship, connection. You know, I'm very much, I'm a conscious connection expert, and that's what I talk about, you know, us consciously connecting with the right sort of people in our lives.
Yeah.
And that is our relationships, in romance, in friendships, in whatever. You know, how do we consciously connect with those people that add value to our lives, and that we can add value to theirs as well?
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah. Well, Karina, it's been an absolute pleasure. What I'll get you to do is we'll pop some links in over on my time so people can connect with you on Facebook or on your website, hook into your courses, and do pop over to Amazon and get yourself the books.
Yes.
But I'd love to have you back.
I'd love to be back.
I think we've nailed this. It's close, but we've nailed it. And because we will not be beaten, and it has so come back when you've launched your next one, and I'd love to be part of the launch and see the whole series. Do you have a time frame for the 6 books?
I have not, no, but I do work with a media company at the moment, and we're even looking at maybe presenting it forward for movie rights or TV series. So if that sort of thing would happen, then that would make me write them faster, I can tell you.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Move over, whatever, the Harry Potter series.
That's right, why not? And you know what? The thing is, finally, well, actually, it's kind of a little bit more on the you know, Mr. Grey. What was the
50 Shades
of Grey.
Yeah.
It's a bit more like that, but you know what? It's the woman in power. She's making all the choices, she's doing all the things, and it's about time.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna when you're on the dizzy heights of having all these movies and all the scripts done and that, I'm going to remind you that I did this interview with you. and
absolutely, you do that. Fabulous.
Oh, beautiful. Well, Karina, it's been an absolute pleasure. And you have a wonderful Christmas. I do look forward to talking to you in the new year, and we'll keep in touch.
Absolutely. You too, Adair. So lovely to speak with you. Thanks for everyone that's joined us today too.
Bye, everyone.